Hi, it's Jason, Jason's Jungle. Today it's time to harvest the tiger nuts. They've all been killed off by the frost, the foliage is gone. Just time to pull it up and see what I've got. So let's go and have a look there. Okay, so these are my tiger nuts, also known as Chufa or nutgrass or yellow nut sedge. You can see they've all died off. There's a few weeds in here, and basically what I'm going to do today is dig them all up and see what harvest I have. So let's get on with that. Start off over here in the corner. Just pull it up. Now that looks good, because under here I can see all these little nuts starting to grow. That came up really nicely, just all together with the roots, so I can easily sort through it and pull out all of these little nuts. They're going to need a good wash because the nuts are slightly wrinkly and a bit hairy, so they do hold on to the muck quite a lot. I've got no idea how well they'd survive over winter. I had them in the same place last year, so if any of them did survive, they'd have been lost amongst the plantings from this year. It's a case of just going through, pulling out every little nodule, every lump. That looks like it's a lump of muck, but it's probably a nice hard nut. Another one there, small one. There it is. Another one. And these nuts just grow on the roots, nodules, and basically these are what you plant to get new plants. So if you don't eat them all, you can get some more next year. I just plant them straight in here, give them a soak overnight, because you can dry them off and they'll last all year. I've still got some from last year. But each of these clumps was basically grown from one nut. So that's one clump. There's another one there. No, that's just a lump of root. That's all one clump from one nut. Not a massive harvest per nut, but a reasonable return. So that's how much has come from one of these planted out. I'll get on with the rest and we'll see what happens. Okay, so we've had some bit of frost a couple of nights here, so that is now finally done in for my ocker. Hurrah! That means in a week or so, or two maybe, just see how long I can hold off the urge. I can dig this up and see how much of a crop I've got. I'm leaving them in because they reckon that if you leave them after they've died off, they absorb more goodness from the plant and the roots will swell up. So as long as I can resist the urge, in a couple of weeks time I'll dig these up. But it's also killed off my Mashua, which is good because I can now look at digging this up. As it's raining, I'm not going to video that, so I'll just dig that up and see what happens and show you the result at the end. Okay, so this is what I've got from the tiger nuts. Not too bad, quite pleased with that, but I'm thinking about how I might be able to improve the harvest. I think as it's classed as a weed in lawns in America, and they do a lot of irrigation of the lawns, so I think as sedge obviously it's going to help that with the making sure that's been irrigated. And this year it's dried out a bit. You know, with the hot weather, it has dried out, so that might have had an impact on this harvest. But also, with the lawns, they'll do lawn feed, so probably high nitrogen feed, and that might help, you know, because it's a root, but it's just the ends of the tubers that grow. And I think that would improve the harvest, so that once you scrape the muck off, you get nuts like this. So I'm thinking doing something like maybe the manure mixed with sand, so that it's a bit lighter and not as sticky as what I've got on here, but also high nitrogen and will maintain the moisture, and see if that will improve the harvest next year. Now these, as I showed you there, are covered and just hold on to the muck, and that's possibly down to the mixture that's in the wheelbarrows. So one of the things I want to do is try and make it so that they come out a bit cleaner. Okay, so they're going to need to be cleaned up. Now the Mashua, I haven't weighed this yet, but I'm quite chuffed with the harvest. This is what the Mashua looks like. Needs to be cleaned up. So it looks like a maggot, like a giant maggot, connected to the stem here. So all these grew in sort of a bunch from the stem, and this whole bag comes from 3 plants, which were smaller than that one. So they were pretty small tubers. I think they were smaller than this one. And they actually started growing in January last year, so they were in pots and then planted out. So I've got to see, sorry about that, the hiccups there. I've got to see what these taste like and how to cook them. And after that I'll see if I actually want to keep any to grow next year. And the question is, do I keep the small ones or do I keep the large ones? Don't know about that. I'm thinking large ones, just to try and make sure that I don't breed in the trait of being small roots. And it's got a little bit of colour in there. I might even look at getting the variety Ken Haslet. So these have a slight purple tinge to them. So I'm going to wash one of these off and see what it tastes like raw later. Okay, but I'll come back to you on my feedback with that. Okay, so just scrubbed up a couple of the tiger nuts and a bit of the Mashua. And well, here's the Mashua, white with little purple streaks in it. I want to use the small one. I'm not too sure how palatable they're going to be raw, but let's give it a go. Crunchy, got a slight sweetness to it. Quite watery and juicy, almost radish-like, but not quite as firm as a radish. It's not what I expected. I expected it to be peppery, and you know, I'm getting that hit now. I'm getting that Nasturtium flavour. You know, if you eat the seeds, you get that hit coming in, and that's coming in. It's quite palatable. It's almost starts off bland and then gets sweet and slightly nutty, and then you get a little bit of a kick at the back of the throat. I expected it to be gross myself, but it's a lot better than I thought. It tastes a bit like the seeds, but not as hot and peppery as the seeds do. So, slight aniseed flavour, licoricey. It's actually quite nice. Yeah, you're getting the licorice and the aniseedy flavour come through, a little bit of warmth and the sweetness and the juiciness. It actually could be quite nice raw. I don't know what it's going to be like cooked. I'll have to some more of that later on. Okay, and these are the tiger nuts. As you can see, once they're cleaned up, a little bit wrinkly, a little bit hairy, but they have a gorgeous flavour. They taste, you know, a lot crunchier and got a flavour, very nutty, coconutty coming through. And it's got like a, you know, the desiccated coconut flavour. Very nice. Anyway, I now have all these to go and clean, so I best go off and scrub my nuts, and I will see you next video.